So last time with the Wukong Gong, our first pick was the Vi. For RNG, looks like they're just going to go back towards that style once more. Wei seems super happy on this.
Yeah, I mean, first pick Vi, no other team, but Wei must be happy if he's willing to do it. So we're going to get the same draft for at least the first portion. With Aphelios, last time Wink was what? The Nautilus came quite early here, Dagda, so let's see if it comes again. Yep.
Okay, so, I mean, this is the very same draft. I mean, for RNG, right, you just take the Ahri, you take the Gwen, and you're happy out. Like, that was the difference maker in the last game. So, as long as you don't make the same mistakes that you made in the early games, this could even be a cleaner game for RNG.
Well, it could be. I don't like similar drafts at Dagda, so that's the only thing I'm going to be upset about here. Last time, Jax. Yep, okay. Let's just run it back. You know, let's completely run it back.
Can we talk to production? Are we sure we've got the right game? Like, we're not just
going... Yeah. Is this live or not? You know, I don't know, Dagda. I don't know. Maybe it's already gone to a game through. We don't know. Hey, Zeri banned. Well, that's a surprise. Do you remember what came next?
I'm trying to think off the bat. It was the Lissandra. So did we get the Lissandra ban?
Maybe Lissandra by RNG.
Okay,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, you know the future. What else?
And then I can't remember what the actual one was here for. It was the Zeri and...
Another AD?
Was it G?
Sure.
I can't remember. Sivir. It was
no,
Sivir.
No, it actually was Sivir. Now we know. Now we know. It's scripted. Don't worry. Okay.
There's no way we're going to run through the exact same draft, are we?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
It's looking like it. It's looking like it. I can't remember the last one here, Dagda, but you know, there's obviously in the book it was LeBlanc too. Yeah. Oh, look, it's bad enough they gave away Gwen, but are we really doing this?
All right, well, apparently both teams are happy with the way it goes. Even you can see Shun laughing to himself a little bit there. But yeah, it's gonna be the exact same. Oh wait. Oh, it's different. Oh my god, we're seeing something different.
It's a Senna Tahm angle, but hang on, bottom matters so much.
Yeah, I'm actually like, it's really interesting to see Senna Tahm here, because like one of the big things that RNG have kind of been criticized for in the past is that they don't actually play Senna Tahm Kench. I'm trying to find exactly how many times it has been played by Gala here.
I can tell you, 3 times in the split.
3 times. Yeah. It's been total of 7 thus far, and it's 3 wins, 4 losses. So, like, it's not something that is brought out. Like, when you look at, like, across the board, like, the most played champions for Gala, like, Kaisa with 91 games. Like, 7 games of Senna. He has more games on... He has the same amount of games on Ziggs as he does on Senna's. Just to tell you how little we see Gala bring this out. So, interesting to see this adaptation from RNG. We'll have to see if they're able to try and play through this, because one of the big things is that it does change up the dynamic between the AD carry and the support. With the engage tool not as heavily available for Ming as well, kind of playing that more defensive style. It'd be interesting to see how they change things up. Also, with the Glaio coming in now for Mole, this also means that now IG have a bit of an easier time with these go buttons, or even the defensive buttons, when it comes to denying this Ahri and this Vi through the mid jungle.
I mean, because Glaio now picked up, right? Mole was hovering over the effects of Zoe, but we have Mole all in Dagda. We have insane follow-up to the engage too. And I kind of wonder, with bottom lane playing safe, if RNG are like, yeah, well, this time around we know that the bot dive could be real, but diving a Senna Tahm Kench has often gone wrong in many leagues across the world.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a much slower paced bot lane, and it will again become much more about the mid jungle for RNG. But I like the way IG have adapted, right? Like, if Xiaohu tries to roam, well, you don't really want to try and play towards a Senna Tahm Kench. Going for dives up top lane for Breathe is going to be incredibly difficult to do. And then you've got Mole, who's going to be part of that equation as well. So Mole can always kind of play safety using that ultimate, which makes it very hard for RNG to find these picks like they did in game number 1.
I'm just keen to see him with the Predator Glaio. It will inevitably be every single time an LPL mid laner gets on Glaio. It's not even about the 6-stack, that they just run around the map at full speed, early on, pressing W, and setting up a potential first blood. Let's see if IG can do it, because the early game last time was RNG's. There was a huge comeback. Oh my god, he has Aftershock. Dagda, what year is it? What hell is this?
It's the year of the mole, baby. That's what it is. I gotta yell it for lyric. But
there you go.
But the thing is, I actually like this. I think the So taking the door and shield early means you have a better time in this lane. You're not going to be shoved out as easily by the Ahri. Also, you still running the ghost, mean you can still play for early level plays.
RNG, well, hang on, the Senna Tahm doesn't mean they're not going to go for a level 1. Mole's just been given a free W flash away as Gala has to leave Ming. He's in the middle of 3, his first blood given to IG. Xiaohu now joined in, and there's a Nautilus here who has flash, but will happily take Xiaohu's. 2 summoners, first blood, RNG. What was that?
Good question, Hysterics. That's a very good question. And the thing is, this can be compounded on by IG as well. Like, you have Ghost and Flash on Mole, who started Taunt level 1 mid. If you do not try and go for an early play in mid lane here as IG, like, you are just throwing this game away. Shun should immediately be trying to get onto Xiaohu every opportunity that he has. Now, Xiaohu has let that wave push in, which, I mean, is a good spot for him. Maybe he can try and freeze this wave just outside of his turret and try and limit that. But still, this is a brilliant start for IG.
And they're still willing to 2v2 in the bottom lane. Good little trade here from RNG. After Gala doesn't have his summoners. And remember, Tahm Kench, no safety net until he hits 6. So Gala taking these trades, going to get some piercing darkness in to heal up, but Arn and Wink are the ones getting closer to hitting level 2 as the wave pushes out against Gala and Ming. So bottom lane not in a great position as we look across the board. In fact, Shun even with a camp lead for the time being. Dagda, as you said, he's starting to position around mid, maybe even a deep invade to kick him off.
Yeah, has that priority in mid lane because of that early mistake from RNG, which traditionally you don't have. So he's going to move over towards the red buff. They are spotted though, so we'll have to see how RNG want to try and respond to this, but looks like Shun is just going to back away. May end up running into Ming and Gala as they come across.
Yeah, they shouldn't get dredge lined here. Oh, Gala got dredge lined here. Flash wind becomes lightning. Gala dying here, Dagda. I don't know, as Arn looks at the range, he's close. Arn flashes in. He's willing to sacrifice his life. Good kite back as Wei wants to trade, but Ming's getting close as they've re-engaged dredge line. Shun returns in, but Wink going in. He flashes himself. A knock-up coming through from the Abyssal Dive. Close to dying. Audacious charge. The minion helps. Ming now up. 3 talent strike. Shun looking to carry under turret. No! What is this series?
I love it! I love it! This is brilliant! IG, 3 kills in this bottom lane. 2 for On, 1 for Shun. And I want this roller coaster of a series to never let up. The replay here, honestly, I was kind of expecting this to be the level 1, but in this great hook from Wink, instant follow-up from Shun, and Gala had already burnt his flash in that level 1, so On knows he can go aggressive, but as you say, like, trying to give the kill across the Wei gets creep blocked unbelievably, which means that IG kind of go, hang on a second, we can actually follow up on this. Wei then overextends to get Wink, who's able to flash away, and then here, this is the auto attack from the creep, and I actually thought Shun was going to get the kill on towards Ming, but too many creeps in the way means that Wink wasn't quite able to follow up. And he will end up falling. But we're still going! Blood!
We are.
Give me blood!
Wink has moved to the top lane. 100% kill participation on this Nautilus. Wink is in charge. We saw this in game 1 as well, right? Moving around the map with Shun. Wink has been on an edge, and look, honestly, with the way the early game's gone, why not just elevate it, Dagda? IG with a 500 gold lead, and Arn has a noon quiver at 4 minutes in the game.
That is insane to have that much gold this early in the game, and especially when you're looking at like dragons and that coming up, it comes so easy then for IG to try play towards that. Flash still not up for Xiaohu as well, so maybe we still get that play in mid lane, but we'll have to see exactly how IG want to continue this forward, because right now they have options on how they want to execute on the map.
And as you said, you know, still to punish Xiaohu. His flash was burnt earlier on in that level 1 invade, and there's still about a minute of a timer on it, so Shun, even though he doesn't have the summoner himself, can make something happen in the mid lane depending. And Dagda, because of all the bottom side plays, IG now have such a big vision lead in the bottom side river, as well as Cameraman's looking top. You know why? Breathe is going to hit level 6 sooner rather than later, but Zika leaping out, and Cameraman's going to be a little bit disappointed. Dagda, forget that point. Screw that point. Not important. Bottom side is where it's at.
Yeah. So it'll be this wave here that's hitting, that is the level 6 one, both for mid and top lane. It's just the 15 seconds before level 6 is always what you gotta watch out for those level 6s. And now, Xiaohu has hit that level 6. It looks like they want to try and make a play, but no flash doesn't matter when you got a Spirit Rush.
Oh, they're going to keep going for it anyway. RNG are like, well, even if Xiaohu comes down, Mole's going to be here first. Even without the ulti, shielded around. Way was close to getting taunted up as Ahri with the Infernum as well. No Moonlight Vigil available for this AD carry, but IG still adding the pressure into the bottom side. Means this Senna Tahm are going to be in hot water for a bit longer.
Yeah, try to see if they can get that presence on bot side. I thought they'd turn it in towards a dragon, but seeing if maybe they can get Xiaohu.
Great charm here. He's got the Spirit Rush available and the flash. Uses the ulti to get out of shields around as Shun runs back on in. Xiaohu playing with fire himself. And that's because Wei is also nearby.
As much damage as he can get as well onto IG is going to be crucial because you can see Dragon started by Wei. This may be the worst call in the history of calls as Wei has to run out of there. He has no flash, no control, and is now just resetting in front of the Dragon.
Dagda, I don't think that's the case. He wants to contest this. It's a 3k, but as they get the root down, IG still with so much damage. A pickaxe added into the inventory of Ahri, and they know that's the time to get outie. Meanwhile, Zika, after spotting him on the bottom side, is just going to be stealing away a blue buff. So IG winning all over this map.
I mean, they're doing pretty damn well thus far. The gold lead has been equaled up a little bit by RNG, thanks to that CS lead that's very quickly growing in that mid lane. But overall, I mean, 2 kills down at that bot side. You already talked about a Noon Quiver, now a pickaxe added to that. The turret plate's looking very low in that bot lane as well. And Gala and Ming will just continue to be shoved in. So this is where you can start to see, I mean, do you commit resources to the Rift Herald as IG? Or do you just continue to put presence onto this bottom side and then unnaturally get a lot more of those plates?
Well, Dagda, let's not use logic. What do you think would suit the flavor of this series so far? What's the next...
Excuse me, let me clear my throat.
Yeah.
Blood for the blood god!
There you go.
We're moving. We're going.
Okay.
We're grooving. Let's go get fights. I'm down for
That's
this.
what I
No
wanna
Spirit
hear.
Rush for Xiaohu means he will have to rely on his flash.
Okay, well, look, flashes so far have been burnt pretty liberally as Wei wants to take away the scuttle, but he eventually will get it. Shun looking for the steal, doesn't find it, but this follow-up is a flash 3 talent strike. Wing commits as well. Moonlight Vigil, IG. This has given me vibes of the old, sexy roster.
I mean, this is where IG have actually been incredibly strong. Over the course of the split, the early game has actually been pretty damn good. It's when we get to those early mid-game fights that they start to fall apart, where the gold lead that they've accumulated for themselves doesn't really come into fruition because their team fights haven't been that strong. Breathe will need to be careful, but I do like this from IG. Push in top, instantly put down Rift Herald, get more gold into On's hand, because this AD carry is the carry right now for IG.
Needlework's going to come out, though, at the very least, force Wink away. Final piece not doing as much as we saw in the later game. And a good dodge there from Ahri as well. They're gearing up for the next wave, Dagda, but this time RNG are going to have a bit of help.
But look at Mole. Mole is like, wait a second, that's a lot of people on top side. I got a Jax in the bottom lane. I could maybe look for a play here if they're overextended.
But wouldn't top be better? RNG are still gearing up here. We're getting the dive, maybe not. What do I know as Mole set up under the turret. Gala's running for his life while Ming is going to be the sacrificial tadpole. But he turns into a frog, pounces out of there while Wei's angle continues the blood story. He's got Assault and Battery, cease and desist is now called as Mole starts moving back to lane, but RNG zone him off. We're seeing attempted plays as Wink's going to run into Fog of War, and Wei just says, see you later.
I mean, with Xiaohu there, I wasn't sure if they're going to try and go for it. No ult on Mole meant that I think they would have had the numbers advantage for RNG, but Wei opts to play it safe. Now will use Xiaohu's presence to steal away this red buff because Mole had to try and clear out the wave that was pushed in towards mid. Will they stick around for Shun though? He will be spotted out, but looks like RNG are just happy to steal away the buff.
So, Herald is still there for Shun. We're still waiting for him to put that down, but IG still have a 1k gold lead. And what we saw was that gold went over to Ahri, who now has a Gale Force. Pre-10 minutes, by the way, that was picked up with a dagger, random cloth boots as well. Like, Aphelios is set up to succeed. And Dagda, think about all the objective fights coming up when IG have already started off with both neutrals in their back pocket.
And the thing is, they haven't even used the Rift Herald, right? Like, you still get to give more gold to On. Even stealing away the red buff in reply here. for IG is going to be fantastic. But look at Wei. Wei is like, hang on a second, I know IG are going to be playing around this bot lane. I don't want anything to do with this. So he's actually going to stick around on that top side. It will mean, though, that's a second play for On because he got one on top side. And now he's going to be able to get the Herald as well, it looks like, although shouldn't, considering if he really wants to put this down.
Running out of time, though, at the very least. Arn has the push, and we're getting close to that threshold where a lot of players like to drop it down for the first turret, Blood Dagda, especially since we are at close to 2 plates taken. IG backing off for now, though. They've got fishing control on the bottom side, so confident enough to step up, but RNG is starting to do the dotting of I's and T's, making sure to get rid of it before the dragon spawns in 40 seconds. And Dagda, I think it's time to quickly talk about items before we get there, because with all the chaos we've had in this 6-kill game in the first 3-4 minutes of delivering the hive, we know that there's only 1 mythic complete, but we should be close to maybe 1 or 2 more as we get towards this neutral spawning.
I just don't know if people will get resets in time, right? With 20 seconds left, you just don't get time to get back and come out onto the field. So the only one that has it is Ming with that Frostfire Gauntlet alongside On with that Gale Force. But I kind of favor the Gale Force in this spot, just being able to give more control over towards Wink, how he can approach fights, the damage he can churn out, the safety it brings. And I definitely think he wants to swap up his guns a little bit though, because Infernum Gravitum may not be the play.
As Herald's going to be dropped down, Shun going deep in for it, and he's just under turret, getting brutalized. A good ulti, but he's under turret, and Xiaohu capitalizes big as now Wink's in trouble. IG, what happened? RNG with 2 swift picks. Now that dragon is as good as theirs.
I mean, Wei's just been playing this Vi like an assassin, constantly playing out a fog of war and catching Shun as he tries to finish off that plate in the mid lane. They needed to turn over towards the dragon. They had what they wanted for, but now instead RNG get those kills. They'll get a dragon for themselves, and even getting 2 turret plates too. I mean, look at the gold. This was a nice 2,000 gold lead for IG, and it's all back to even now because of this play from Wei. I mean, look at him again. This fog of war use from Wei has been spectacular. Same with Xiaohu. Instantly, the 2 of them sideline in towards mid lane, and the flank is beautiful.
And again, mid-jungle for RNG, right? Even to catch off the back end as Ming and Gala get involved. We're going to come back to live, and Dragon's going to be taken by Royal Never Give Up. That evens out the score, delays the game a little bit here, Dagda. We didn't get a chance to talk about overall comps, considering it is so similar with the draft almost being, 100% similar. Zika running into him, but nothing happens away. And I was going to ask you more about how the Glaio fits in this time around, but do you think I have time? Be honest. No, I don't. Okay, all right, Grandmaster at Arms and Heroes entrance. Okay, the T1 skin flexing here as shielded Durand over the wall. Mole helps it out as the flash with the Vault Breaker means Wei gets out. But I was going to say, IG have their own pick potential in this game too, it seems.
And it looks like they want to use this now to move in towards this mid lane. You've already moved on up. They want to try and get this mid lane tower, get some more gold here.
Xiaohu has to be careful. Shielded Durand is available, but Xiaohu luckily out of range, as IG in the meantime are going to pick up mid-turret, so gold swings back and forth like a children's playground. I mean, this swing set, Dagda, is never-ending.
It's not going to change anytime soon as well, as IG are still trying to trade size the map. Bot tower will fall for RNG, but Zika should be able to get this on top lane. Rift Tower is going to spawn in less than a minute, which is why we're seeing these resets from IG. I think we're going to get more of a fight, and I think that's where IG's composition does shine. I think where IG can find these fights with On being the carry, set up for success, Mo providing that protection, while also having Engage to allow Zika and Shun to kind of be the leaders in these fights, like jumping in, then having the follow-up. It becomes a lot easier then for IG to try and take these fights. But for RNG, it's all about that pick, and they're going to look for one right as this Rift Herald spawns.
We've also got those Mythics spawning up as well. We've got a Gore Drinker in the jungle, top side with a depth charge. Actually, no Mink. Dredge lining in. Wasn't Divine Sunder, it was the word I was looking for, but at the very least, Wink starting the engage. Hard when Wink and Ming go up against each other. I guess that's the combination of the two. As
emotion.
Dagda, you pointed out the Herald. Yeah, we're moving into River quick.
I mean, you don't have the ultimate for Mold. You may need that one for this fight. Otherwise, you're kind of losing out on a massive utility spell from your mid laner. And RNG, well aware of this, trying to move forward. All ultimates apart from Gala's are available on their side.
Wink. Flash dredge line, now he's gone too deep, but the charm doesn't connect. As Xiaohu gets knocked in the air by the depth charge, that tool being down and Wink having no summoner means RNG can go forward, but holding on for the time being. Spirit Rush getting close to timing out. And it looks like RNG just back away from this one. Dagda, as IG still seem healthy enough with Mole in the wing.
I mean, that's actually pretty big for IG again. The depth charge does suck being down, but Mole not having that ultimate is so key to the way IG are going to try and function in these fights. So they're trying to buy space, trying to buy time, but may not
caught
get
out,
it.
at least has the Gale Force, but here we go. Gwen stuff yet again. All it needs to do is hit, but unfortunately it doesn't. Unlucky to get out of Freeze ulti's down, but Arn's still with an ulti of his own, and he has Infernum for the range. Herald's being taken in the meantime as IG are getting close to smite range, but as Wade jumps in, they look for the turn instead. Moonlight Vigil here for Arn with an ulti on top, but it's cancelled. Mole not getting the dream here, but at the very least, still getting the fight. It is RNG who, actually IG who pick up the Herald, so all hell's blazing as IG move to 3K in the lead.
IG bought the time that they needed. Mole's ultimate came up, and even though it got cancelled, Wei had to go on towards the Glaio to try and stop that from going even more disastrously. 3 kills over towards IG. That Rift Herald, as you pointed out as well. Spectacular stuff, and we'll get to see it here, right? Like, it looks very unfortunate here for IG, but with where shouldn't position himself, getting on towards Gala, this fight is beautifully then set up for IG, where it was very split up, but managing to get themselves back into a position where they're safe. Mole as well, having that threat with the ultimate to reconvene with the team, means that RNG just don't have the damage right now to fight back.
And he's built a Night Harvester as well. This Glaio is going to be zooming through the fight with Ghost still available as well. Mole more than just about the ulti here is with that Herald available, and the extra gold IG have benefited off the fact of the first one and now shortly this one. Third Dragon Dagda, it looks like IG should have this pretty much in the bag, with RNG nowhere near for the time being.
I mean, IG will be able to pick this one up, but I mean, we're going to have to start looking towards this mid game, right? Because I think we're starting to see adaptations from IG from last game to this game. Much better Herald usage, and you'll see this crack into bot side. Zika picking up a very early Hex Drinker this time around, not going for the Hull Breaker, knowing, look, I'm actually going to be in team fights like the last game, so Hull Breaker I'm not going to get my value out of. Rift Herald actually going to get that second charge here as well. But I think with the position that IG are in, as long as they can continue using the good vision control that they've had, continue to play for these dragons, I think they should be in a good spot. Like, On is very much accelerated in this game, already at an item and a half at the 18-minute mark. But can't get caught out.
Spirit Rush, I mean, there's one more for Xiaohu. Needed charm, he flushes over the wall. He was contesting Raptors, and RNG pounced immediately, Dagda. And yeah, lucky he didn't get caught out, but then again, no neutral up for the time being, so nothing that RNG can find on the backside.
And at least Flash should be back up in time for something like that dragon, right? You have like 15 on the clock. You'll be a little bit after, maybe 20, 25 seconds, but nothing too major. So as long as IG again can delay, that Flash should be back up for Shun. Topside though, Zika really wants to get some presence here.
Second time in a row, right? Second time he's done so well in the lane. Breeze is caught up in CS this time, but Zika on this Jax. This priority pick for IG is still channeling ahead now to see if that more becomes the second item, or note the Phage comes through instead. So we are going to get Zika sitting on the Mort just like last game. Oh, sorry, the Hex Drinker Dagda. While I look across the board, I want to point out yet again, Xiaohu 50 CS up in ahead of his lane counterpart. You look at bot, it's Senna Tahm, hard to calculate, but there is a second item well and truly on the way in the form of the LDR for Arn. When you consider that there are a couple of bruises here, a couple of HP stackers, and more importantly, Ming is the absolute frog unclocked. So feels like right now for IG, as these items actually just came in, second item there for Arn, we are at a very strong point ahead of this Baron now spawning and Dragon in 3 minutes time too.
You're still going to be waiting for the Infinity Edge for On. Like, 3 items is still incredibly crucial for this Aphelios, like getting to that 60%, getting the increased damage from the IE thanks to hitting that crit mark is very, very crucial for the Aphelios, but I think he's going to be in a fine spot, right? You've got 2 dragons already for IG. They can continue putting pressure down there. Control of the map for IG as well. Again, you haven't hit that mega lake in here as Breed, so Zika still keeping control over sides. It's just a case of trying to keep the tempo advantage that you have, because on that last play before the last reset, we saw IG committing all 5 members to topside, but not like getting any presence on the tower because Breed just clears out the wave. And It's little mistakes like that that RNG are very good at punishing, especially when you look at Xiaohu, who is already playing side lanes now, trying to make sure that, okay, well, I am pushing top. I still have TP to get to the bot side. And, like, what are IG achieving here, right? They don't have the map pressure that they need because they haven't been playing both side lanes properly just yet.
I mean, it's shown in game number 1, at least for IG. Like, the game looked to be in the palm of their hands. A couple of things go right. IG with a half-cocked engage and, you know, RNG pick off the pieces. I feel like game number 2, we set ourselves up for that expectation, but IG this time around having a much cleaner early game. As you said, the momentum there and waiting for Aphelios 3 items is going to be nice cruise control. But as IG go down the highway at 110 kilometers an hour, I feel like on the other side, RNG are trying to push it past. They don't care about highway patrol right now. With Wei jumping onto Zika, we're just going to wonder if Zika's going to get caught out himself. But never mind that, Wei backs off, and we continue to just walk around these neutrals with Vision being the priority.
I mean, Vi is the cop, right? Wei is the highway patrol, and they want to see if they can stop IG.
Getting pulled over. Moonlight Vigil with the Infernum. A good route down on the opposite end. But yeah, Mole's angle even better. Shield of Duran forces the devour, but now with the dredge line, Ming could be in trouble as the darkness flies through the rift. Ming gets it engaged. They haven't quite got the damage for now as that ultimate from Mole doesn't do anything. We've got a needlework that's on its final charge. It shouldn't take so much damage. RNG in such a good position as Breeze sends it out. Xiaohu now with his angle splits up IG. Wei picks off the AD carry, and RNG's angles are superb. Invictus Gaming have been caught at their own game as Royal never give up. Just do it again. Mid-game against his team continues to be one of the most defining factors as this mid-jungle duo highlight the difference.
Xiaohu just pulled over IG, slapped them with a ticket, slapped them with a DUI, slapped them with any other code of conduct, misconduct they could find, because my God, that was beautiful from Xiaohu. The micro in that fight was actually insane, and RNG off the back of that will grab the Baron. That was class.
We came into the day being like, oh, Mole's Ahri needs to be banned away like one of his best champions. Xiaohu hops on the pick and does this.
Yeah, I mean, watch as he comes into this, right? Because he ends up getting a brilliant engage on the side as Mole after comes in, right? At this stage, RNG are like, okay, Mole ends up using the ultimate here, so there's no real threat. But watch Xiaohu as he TPs onto the top side. So gets the charm onto Shun, gets it too much damage, Spirit rushes forward, gains the kill on towards Shun while flashing over the wall, dodges the flashback over from Zika with the counter-strike, dodges the taunt from the Glaio as well, and from that then, he's perfectly positioned to finish off on with Wei, follow up in the fight with these revives on his Spirit rushes. It was gorgeous, and now Breathe. How big are you, buddy?
He's
How
got
far can
Baron
you
buff,
get?
but Leap Strike with Counter-Strike into the circle. Mole's joining in as well, and he's got a circle of his own. Shield of Duran comes through his needlework, buys the space, but look, the cavalry's coming up while Shun tries to help, but might die for his efforts. Wei wants in with a Vault Breaker, but IG still bringing 5 up to the top side, and that's enough to deter them. Breathe goes down, and that's going to slow down the Baron play with a good pick from Invictus Gaming.
Still got top tower, still should get mid tower at least as well, so cracking open these outer structures is going to be fantastic for RNG again and trying to lean into that pick potential. Getting vision for these dragons, because in 4 minutes time, that is the solo spawning for IG. So RNG need to make sure that they're keeping control. But as you say, at least IG finding that pick will slow down the pace of RNG.
You can see none of the waves set up, no turrets in the inner caliber are going to be taken down. So right now, gold isn't that far ahead for RNG. I like you bring up the soul discussion because by then we should have our 3-item Aphelios Dagda. The one that for IG, that ultimate can cause so much damage if they manage to find that pick in the choke. But for now, RNG, speaking of picks, are going to find Mole. He wants to ulti out of here, but RNG TPing in Wei, missing completely as the cease and desist will go on cooldown, but simply said, Mole has bought some time and made Wei look a little bit foolish in the process while RNG bring 4.
Yeah, I mean, IG can't really do anything with it, though. Mole was overextended. Zika didn't have push in top side. So IG might be able to push in this Baron wave mid and group with Zika on top, but with resets coming through, I don't know if they can get this. Although, I will say, yeah, RNG, they're actually just looking to trade it with the Baron.
Yep. I mean, Jax with Hullbreaker, right? IG going to come through and at least help him with his next wave. Hullbreaker drops down as we get the split cam yet again to flex. Look at mid too, though. Mid is going to be sieged up by Gala and Ming, while Breeze should find this, but IG Dagda are not quitting.
This. Yeah, IG are winning this. This is the Baron push from RNG, but Breed doesn't have Baron. The rest of RNG didn't stick around. IG, they're getting an inhibitor turret, but now the collapse.
Is it going to be worth it? I mean, Ming needing the knock up here. Spirit Rush starts off. The cease and desist in the middle of the fight. Deleted. Ahn is no more as Wade decides to dive for the crime as Wink is getting poked out, but Xiaohu yet again. Spirit Rush reset now with 3 in the balance. Chasing down Sean. Can this mid laner be any more god tier?
TP onto the bot side as well. Xiaohu wants to get more off of this. He wants to try and look for an inhibitor turret. Probably won't be able to get it though. As you can see, resets coming through from IG. RNG thinking they could maybe stop IG from being able to get back to base, but now will just be Xiaohu's TP down. So now we turn our attention back towards that dragon that's about to spawn. And it was a nice play here from RNG. They know the Mole doesn't have the TP, so cannot get to this fight. So look for the immediate engagement on. Take him out of the fight, but I'm just kind of not respecting how much damage Zika can do here. This is an incredibly strong Jax at this stage. They catch out Gala as well with Shun. So you end up getting the ultimate just barely coming out from Ming to save Gala as Zika will get away. But a lot invested now by RNG into that fight that should be back up as we move over towards this dragon in a minute and 15.
Okay, that's sold for IOG. Kind of the last chance hurrah as IG have been falling behind to this Ahri mid again, who undoubtedly will turn that Dark Seal into a lost chapter. Dagda, what item am I talking about? Magi, excuse me. Yeah, we'll get there eventually, but 3 items here. Rabadon's Death Cap on Xiaohu, and he's gotten his 3rd item before Mole, before Ahn. Right now, RNG feeling cocky, knowing that Breathe as well, matching those stats.
And that's the thing, if IG do not win this game, then it is up to them to see if FPX can keep their dreams alive later on. But now, okay, looking for the engage.
And it's Ming actually setting up the engage, willing to take it up for now as Mole goes golden, buying his own time as Zika starts spin. But RNG kite back. Needlework begins off as well. Xiaohu kiting through Spirit Rush. The flash out, he's safe for now, but Moonlight Vigil into melee range. Xiaohu dead! Going too deep for comfort as Mole gets a 2-man knockup while Ahn flashes forward. IG, when they're fighting for their life, Dagda, they're going to keep it running as Breathe golden as well. So many Zhonya's used. A knockup from Ming. Breathe eaten up. The shield's going to be huge as onto Ahn. Gwen things coming in. The train flies as Zika now on top, and the mess again, Dagda. How many kills do RNG want?
That's soul for IG though. They've managed to take the fight right before the dragon spawns. So they're going to end up with 3 dragons. That's going to be 27% bonus armor and magic resist plus the shield on top of that. That is insane. And when you see here Ming engaging on towards Mole, that's not the person you want. On as well, perfectly positioned underneath his turret to make sure that he's safe. And as you called it, Wei and Xiaohu going that bit too far on not being able to be threatened here by anyone on RNG side and stepping forward at the perfect moment to get the damage that he needed.
God, RNG, just when we're complimenting the jungler, the mid, step up, and we see this. Now, close is how Ming made it, but IG with the cleanup, Dagda, as you said, with the Mountain Soul on top as well. And Ahn is going to be in a favorable position. I know he died in that last fight, but Infinity Edge now there as a stopwatch too. IG now the ones who are confident with gold back up to even in this 32-kill game. We return to the pit. Here we go at 3K, going down quick, looking for a steal his way, who doesn't get the Vault Breaker. Baron is secure as Needlework starts flying through as well. Breed is level 16 as it flies through the whole team. Gwen, please, no! Why is this champion so ridiculous? Ming frontlining as everything's now down. Zika feeling confident too, but Xiaohu and Breed are still alive. But for how long? Xiaohu, the only one left standing, is Gala tagged on. IG turning it around. Wei's alive. IG making it ridiculous with a team fight win.
This is the power of these new dragons. You get so much armor and magic resist coming through that it's so hard to kill the front line of IG. Xun and Zika are popping off again, and now with Baron up, no one else alive in RNG except for Wei. They're looking for opening up more of this RNG base.
Zika's so threatening. I'm sure we'll see in the last fight how much he did. Focusing on the Gwen Dagda, because I'm like, dude, needlework is ridiculous, but the counterpunch from IG was insane.
Yeah, it's a 1-2 from IG. On at the back of this is doing a really good job of getting a ton of damage off, even though he ends up exhausted. Whereas on the opposite side, right, Xun and Zika are trying to move in towards Xiaohu, get the kill onto him. So look at the damage he's getting, right? Kills Ming off the back, and Xun and Zika are getting so much work done. Gala can't damage either because of the counter-strike, and also having the ultimate from the Xin Zhao. So while Wei may finish on, IG's front line's still strong.
The jungle top of IG. 5-1 and 8, 8-4 and 8 for the junglers. Now Xiaohu versus Zika. Spirit Rush is available, but he holds out the counter-strike as Wei's coming in, but he's Xun yet again. The buddies have bros as now Xiaohu tagged up. Audacious charge as Charm lands onto Zika, but Xun is buying his time. Wind becomes lightning again as Ming saves his life, but IG burning a crescent guard as well. 4 members down in this bottom lane, while Breathe heads topside, and IG with the Baron buff are still threatening.
I know you want to keep pushing. 50 seconds on this Baron. That's all that you have left here for IG, but they are waiting on the waves, and honestly, I think, does anyone have?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just going to be Xun who has the Baron here. I was trying to make sure that he was actually being able to get that.
But the engage from Xun onto Wei as GA, but he flashes away and it's down. Now for the poke back from RNG, Gala not doing enough, as you can see already, Zika and Mole heading face first, breathe into the middle of it as the Gwen, but the needlework is denied. IG now with the Dredge line to try and end this game, keep their playoff dreams alive. Xun jumps into the back line, Zika the same, they only charge forward as Invictus Gaming slut the MSI champ to the face in game number 2. Keep it nice and bloody in the most crazy series I have seen this year in the LPL.
IG will keep their playoff hopes alive. They will need to do it now again in game 3, but they have pushed RNG to the limit every single time. And it turns out if we just run a very similar draft back, Hysterics, IG knew what they were up to.
Dude, the same draft all to a point, but Mole on the Glaio this time around seemed to make a bigger difference. The ultimates, Dagda, weren't as appealing as we've seen in some of the insane Gallios in the league, but still his positioning, his pathing, Mole adding quite a lot of effect again. Like he did in the last game, even though the Vex fell a bit short late game, still that mid game, that team fighting for Mole seems to be a big strength too.
And these Mountain Dragons doing work for the front line of IG. Xun getting so much more uptime in fights, getting to heal a whole hell of a lot more. Same when you look at Zika as well. The value that you're getting from these dragons. This is why they were so crucial in patch 12.14. And you can see IG running away with it thanks to that. But Hysterics, what's going on in this series?
I don't know.
I did not expect to come in and be casting like World Finals. This is what it feels like right now.
And like, let's put it forward, right? Like, it is messy at times. Like RNG and IG, both games now have made pretty crucial mistakes. RNG especially have this high expectation, but the fact that IG are able to out team fight them, you know, we're seeing amazing plays from Xiaohu, amazing plays from people like Breathe right on this Gwen, but the fact that Zeke is stepping up to that level on this Jax that constantly is picked into the Gwen, it is important to mention that IG are not a top team, guys. IG are a bottom tier team. They're fighting for playoff lives. They're on 4-9 right now, and a single loss in any series is going to put them out. Like, it doesn't matter if it's official or not. IG will not be able to make it with 10 losses. No team ever really has. So, IG trying to do the impossible tag, that's what's happening here.
Yeah, and I mean, look,
Gold crap.
They have to make this stick. They have to bring it back one more time. Every single game now, it has been very back and forth, but the consistency has been that IG, when we get to these when we get to these early games, have been able to make plays that are getting people like on ahead. We're getting Zika ahead in game 1 and trying to use those advantages then towards these early dragons. And it just feels like RNG at the moment, at least in this game, weren't able to fight back with 3 of these dragons. going over in favor of IG. You can see it there, like, look at all the tanky stats that are in this, like, top side, right?
Yep.
GA giving armor, Maw giving armor, Hullbreaker, armor and magic resist. You look at Shun, he's going towards the force of nature. That's given him a whole ton of resist against people like Breathe and Xiaohu, who are the main, even Ming, to be honest, like the people that are giving a ton of problems to them. Zhonya's giving a bunch of armor as well. Like, this is where you're getting so much more value from these items when you're picking up 3 of these dragons.
I just can't believe we're into a game 3.